Marhaban, my name is Ian Campbell, and this series of 10 videos is the fifth series in a whole set of videos explaining the basics of how to speak, read, and write Al-Fusha, or Modern Standard Arabic. These videos will explore the basics of using verbs in Arabic, and this ninth video introduces the future tense. So we'll start with the vocabulary word al-mustaqbal. Al-mustaqbal means the future. Literally, it's something like that which is to be received. And it means the future in the sense of the future tense, and also the future in general, like thinking about the future. The future tense is very easy to form in Arabic. We build it off of the present tense, which is why it's being introduced here. The second series of verb videos will talk about the past tense, which involves a lot more heavy lifting. So the future tense is easy. We need a new vocabulary word, saufa, not sofa like what you sit on or what J.D. Vance really likes, but saufa. And saufa means shall. And you could just put a sofa in front of the regular present tense to make the future. So the trouble with this is that it's effective communication, but it seems really pretentious and portentous, like shall in English. So it's easy to do, though. You can say sofa anjah. Anjah means I succeed, and it always needs its preposition fi. You succeed in something in Arabic. Hada asaf. So I shall succeed in this class is what's being said here. Or I can say sofa nahtor, we will attend or we shall attend, al-muhadara, the lecture, and then masa al-arbi'a, the afternoon/evening of Wednesday, or we shall attend the lecture Wednesday afternoon. And you can see from an English speaker's point of view, this sounds really pretentious. I shall succeed. And it sounds just as pretentious in Arabic as well. A little bit more widely used, maybe. It's much more common to abbreviate it by attaching the particle sa, and it's an attached particle, to a present tense verb in order to get will. So, for example, instead of sofa anjah fi hadha saf, I can say sayanjah fi hadha saf. So now I've made it he will succeed for reasons I'll get into in just a second here. So he will succeed in this class. Or sa nahtor al-muhadara sabah al-khamis. We will attend the lecture the morning of Thursday, or Thursday morning. So this is very easy to do. Just put sa in front of a regular present tense verb, and bam, you've got the future tense. Most of the dialects will use a different particle instead of sa. For example, in the Middle East proper, you'll hear ha for the future tense. And in Morocco, you'll hear ghadi, which comes from the word for tomorrow, for the future tense. So when you learn a new dialect, you'll just quickly learn the particle, the syllable you put in place of sa in formal Arabic to form the future. It's very easy to do and to learn. So note that this is a prefix, so it attaches directly, even with the I form of the verb, and that's why I saved it for down here. So I could say sa anjah, and this is how we do it. We have the alif bi hamza that begins the I form of the verb, and while alif is a non-connecting letter, that means it doesn't connect to the next letter, but it does connect to the previous letter because the letter seen is a connecting letter. So I found that students often kind of mix this up, at least at first, which is why I'm bringing it to your attention here. So sa anjah fi hadha al-imtihan, I will succeed in this test is what we say in Arabic, not on this test, but I've translated it with on. We can say sa'ahtor, I will attend. So get used to doing it this way with the sin and then the alif bi hamza, and then taking your pen off the paper and starting the rest of the word. Sa'ahtor al-muhadara ma' zumala'i, with my classmates. So learn the preposition. Ma means with, but with a person, not with an object. Like if you were going to say, I hit him with a chair, you would use the preposition bi instead. Ma is only with for people. So it's very easy to form the future tense. It's just zero problems. To negate the future is a tiny bit more complicated. We're going to put the particle len, which means won't, before the present tense verb. And this is where students get confused all the time. They'll put len and then they'll put the future tense, and that's not what we're going to do. So len by itself means won't. And this gets across both English ideas of won't, like I won't go to class today, and I refuse to do that thing. I won't go to class today. And it works both ways, just like it does in English. So I can say len and then afshal. Afshal is I fail. في هذا الاختبار, on this quiz, or in this quiz, is literally what I'm saying here. So a lot of times novice students will put the sa here. Oh, sa is future tense, and then len negates it. And this kind of makes sense from a logical perspective, but it's wrong. You're going to put len, and then you're just going to put the regular present tense. So len afshal fi هذا الاختبار. I will not fail on this quiz. And then we can say len nashrab, not len sa nashrab, which is what a lot of students are going to instinctively want to do. Len nashrab al-qahwa ma' tilka al-fatat. We won't drink coffee with that woman. That young woman is what fatat means. Why won't we drink coffee? I don't know. She sucks. I got no reason. There's no context here. But the len nashrab, the we won't drink, could simply be a statement about the future, or it could be like we're refusing to do that, the same way won't works in English. So this is a useful thing to know how to do. And I should note that when you use the regular future tense, the affirmative future tense, like سأنجح في هذا الامتحان, I will succeed on this test, most, in fact nearly all native speakers will say inshallah after it. So inshallah, if God wills it, is just kind of a way of like hedging your bet about the future. Even somebody profoundly non-religious like me will say this when I use the future tense. سأنجح في هذا الامتحان inshallah. So I will succeed on this test if God wills it. Yeah, it might not work out, is kind of what I'm saying here. It isn't necessarily religious, though it often is. So you won't hear people say it with len, typically, but you will hear people say it with the affirmative future tense. So sa'anjah, I will succeed, inshallah, if God wills it. It's just kind of a cultural thing to do, even if it isn't necessarily religious. So when we use len, we technically put the following verb, the present tense verb up here, in a different version of the present tense, what we call the mudari' mansub, the same one we used after an when we did things like I want that I go drink coffee. So that's why it's got fathas here at the end of it instead of the dhammas that are typically used in the regular present tense. This is something that basically nobody will actually care about, or indeed even notice that you switch the dhamma over to fatha. Most people won't do it at all. However, it will make the endings change on words. So I can say, لماذا لن تشربي القهوة معها? So why, لماذا is why, won't you woman, normally you woman drink is tashrabin with an N, a noon on the end. But here, like with a lot of other usages, we lose the noon on the end of the verb because it's in technically a slightly different version of the present tense. If you said, لماذا لن تشربين القهوة معها, everyone would understand you, and 80% of people wouldn't even notice. So it's something that you could just catch up on as you go. And then here's ma for with, put together with ha for her. So again, when you see a short, unfamiliar word, try to parse it. Is it a pronoun with a preposition before it? And that's usually the case. So why won't you drink coffee with her? I don't know. She sucks. We have no good reason for this. At-tulab, the students, human plural, len yahtaru as-saf or saf al-juma. They won't attend Friday's class. They may be refusing, or they may just not be able to do it. We don't know. Now, normally, they attend would be yahtaruna, but like a lot of other times, we use different versions of the present tense. We lose the noon, and in the case of where it ends with waw, we replace it with silent alif due to a hangover from spelling the Quran, essentially. So, at-tulab lan yahtaru saf al-juma. They will not attend Friday's class. Again, if you said lan yahtarun, half the people you were talking to wouldn't even notice. It's just a grammatical detail. So you can also negate the future by putting sofa la before the regular present tense. So literally will not. And this is a little more common and not quite so pretentious as using sofa for shall in the affirmative. You'll see this a lot more often. See sofa la in place of len instead of sofa in place of sa. So this is pretty common to hear. So sofa la afshal fi hadhihi as-sufuf. So I shall not fail. Afshal is fail. Hang on. You've got it up here too. I did it before. So sofa la afshal fi hadhihi as-sufuf. I will not fail in these classes or on these classes or just fail these classes in English. At-tulab sofa la yahtaruna al-muhadara. They shall not attend the lecture. And then notice here, this is the regular present tense, not this funny version we get after len. So it keeps its un ending instead of switching it over to u with silent alif. Again, a trivial detail that is not a barrier to communication. So this sentence here, at-talab lan yahtaru saf al-jum'ah, and this sentence here are equivalent in terms of not doing it, but this one definitely sounds a little more pretentious. It's not quite such a gap as the gap between sa and sofa. And then also, we're going to learn the word sayakun. So normally we don't say is, am, or are. We just say something like ana ustav, I a professor, to mean I am a professor, or antum tolab, you all are student, or you all students, instead of you all are students. However, there is a present tense form of to be, and it's yakun, he is. We just don't use it very often, but we do use sayakun, he or it will be, in front of the kind of sentences that begin with prepositions in order to make them future tense. So this is best learned through example. So, indana imtihan means there is a test at us, or literally at us a test. And we mean it to say we have a test. So if we want to say we will have a test, we're going to put sayakun, there will be, indana imtihan, and then ghadan is tomorrow. It's like tomorrow li, really. So there will be at us a test tomorrow is literally what's being said here. Over here we have sayakun fisaf, there will be at class. Muhadara, a lecture, an at-tarikh, on history or about history. So one of the many usages of the preposition an is to mean about, as in what's its topic. So sayakun fisaf, there will be in class. And what we really mean in these cases is we will have a test tomorrow. So indana imtihan by itself is we have a test. Really, there is at us a test. So we put it in the future tense, no matter who has the test or what they have. We just use sayakun to mean there will be, to put the whole sentence in the future tense. We can conjugate it as well. I could say, for example, sa'akun, I will be, fil maktaba sabah al-ghad, tomorrow morning. And for reasons I'm not going into, up here we say ghadan, tomorrow li, and if I'm putting it in an idafa, it becomes al-ghad. Really, al-ghad is the original and ghadan is the derivation, but that's okay. So sa'akun, I will be, fil maktaba, hang on a second, I need a letter here, fil maktaba sabah al-ghad. So I will be in, excuse me, I forgot my alif, the library tomorrow morning. Or I can ask a question. Hal satakununa? So yes, no question. Will you be all? Arabic loves to do this. This is really four little things stuck together. Kun is to be, and I'll go into it a lot more when I talk about the past tense where we use it all the time. Ta is the particle for you. Sa is the particle for will. Una is the particle for human plural. So, satakununa, will you all be? Fil bait, at home. Masa asebt, Saturday evening or afternoon. Again, Arabic splits up the times of day a little bit differently than English does. So, inshallah, if God wills it, أنتم ستفهمون, you all will understand هذا الدرس, this lesson. But the future tense is really not at all the hardest part of using verbs, and you should be able to integrate it, inshallah, into your range of communication pretty quickly and pretty easily. So for now, I'm going to say ma salama, goodbye.